And we are broadcasting. All right. Welcome to Phil's First Party Show, where we talk all things timely and topical for the first party insurance restoration industry. I'm Phil Sanov, trial lawyer with Morgan & Morgan's Insurance Recovery Group. With Morgan & Morgan's Insurance Recovery Group, I've got 55 of the most awesome colleagues you could ever want to know. We are in 25 offices in 13 states. If you've got any kind of problem with your insurance claim, any kind of problem, any kind of insurance, you need to come see us with Morgan & Morgan's Insurance Recovery Group. You can reach us from any cell phone, pound LAW, through our website, forthepeople.com, or call my cell phone, 713-825-3444. Morgan & Morgan Insurance Recovery Group. Come see us. Joining us tonight is my special guest, one of those fantastic 55 colleagues, Alex Fisher. Alex, please hit that button. Come see us. Woohoo! All right. Alex is here. Alex is in our Nashville, Tennessee office, handles all the first party work in Tennessee for us. Alex, thank you for being on the show this evening.
Thanks, Phil. Happy to be here.
Alex is a lifelong Tennessean, born and raised in Tennessee, and has been with Morgan & Morgan for longer than I have, but a short time. Alex, I always like to let folks introduce themselves a little bit because I'm going to get something wrong. So if you could please tell the folks that are either watching it tonight, watching it on video, hearing it later on a podcast, tell us a little about you.
Yeah, happy to. My name's Alex Fisher. Happy to be here. Happy to be at Morgan & Morgan. I joined this fantastic team in the Nashville office last summer. I've been practicing law about 8 years. I went to Vanderbilt Law here in Nashville and decided to stick around. Been here 11 years in Nashville, born and raised in Memphis, so spent my whole life and career in Tennessee, and just really, really enjoy practicing with the attorneys we have here.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. I have really enjoyed getting to know you, Alex. Over the short time that we both worked here together, our time getting to know each other was accelerated, thankfully, over the tornadoes in Nashville recently. I had the great fortune of being able to get there the weekend after the tornadoes and was able to help with a group of colleagues that you coordinated to help with the cleanup. Talk to our folks a little bit about everything that Morgan & Morgan is doing, that you're doing, for the Nashville folks, and then we'll talk about our three things in just a minute. But talk to us about how we're helping through you and through Morgan & Morgan, helping the policyholders there after the tornadoes, please.
Yeah, sounds good. So the tornado Phil is talking about was the evening of March 2nd and the early morning of March 3rd that came through West Tennessee and Middle Tennessee. For those of you who aren't here, the staff and attorneys in our Nashville office were just ready to help. I mean, right after it happened, Phil said, "Hey, I know what to do. Let me get there. You guys get the people. I'll figure out where they need to be to have the biggest impact." But I'll tell you, Phil, before you even got there, it was a late Monday night when the tornadoes hit. Our staff and attorneys were already online looking at meetup groups, driving to neighborhoods as soon as they got off work. I know one of our employment lawyers, a day after, brought his work gloves to work, wore something he could quickly change out of, and when he was done in the office, went to one of the neighborhoods that needed some help. So we got a team of about 15 attorneys and staff together to clear debris, clean up some rubble, go out to some of the neighborhoods that were hit the hardest the Saturday after it happened. I know this Sunday after, some of our staff went back out outside of our organization of it to continue helping clear debris, do whatever they could for the homeowners, because we thankfully had a week without rain after that happened, but we knew as soon as the rains came that these homeowners were going to be in a tough spot if they didn't have tarps on their roofs and things where they needed to be.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, we were able to coordinate, and you helped through some contacts that I've had over the years with contractors that care and get all of the information out and the people out. That was such a great coordinated effort that you helped put together in Nashville. I know that the folks that I know and the folks that we helped are eternally grateful for that. So, Alex, you and I have never tried a case together. You've never seen me give one of my presentations at a conference, But we talked a little bit today. I see you giggling a little bit. I believe in the magic of three. I believe in putting things out there in three. So thankfully, that was not throwing you for a loop that we wanted to do something in threes this evening. And you have put together three of Alex's pearls of wisdom to share with us tonight, right?
That's right. We have three pearls of wisdom for policyholders. So three
That
things which pretty much everybody who's a policyholder who's dealing with a claim with their insurance company.
I love that. I love that. Thank you for putting this together. So to keep with the format of how I do things and how the show runs, we're going to talk about the three things. We're going to list what they are, and then we go back one at a time to put some, as we say here in Texas, put some meat on those bones and give a little more detail on them. So Alex, if you're talking to a policyholder and you've got to give them three pearls of wisdom on what to do and not do with their claim, what are the pearls we get from Alex, please?
All right. Pearl number one is be pleasant yet persistent.
Pleasant yet persistent. Did I get that right? Pleasant yet persistent.
That's right.
Love that. Love that. Pearl number one. Pearl number two.
You get what you pay for.
Nice, nice. On so many levels, I can't wait for you to explain that. All right. And now the third one is the charm. Pearl number three.
You're not alone.
Ah, love that. Love that. I know that, as you know, I know that from personal experience. And so we'll get more into that. Okay. So I am a policyholder that comes to you off the street. I've got damage from the tornado, or I've got damage from a fire. I've had a tree fall on my house. I am not happy with how the insurance company is handling my claim. When you tell me the first pearl, how am I supposed to act out that first pearl, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll tell you, this first pearl is actually the mantra of my office. So my staff and I, our mantra for how we're going to manage a case for a client is to be pleasant yet persistent. And the way I explain that to policyholders when they call me is you're going to have questions asked of you. There are going to be documents requested or things that your insurance company needs. And I tell them when they say jump, you say how high. So to be pleasant in your interactions with them, even though you probably want to yell and scream, and I know you maybe have a good story about that, Phil, but to be pleasant, frankly, and to be pleasant is people want to help someone who's pleasant, but be persistent. And that means you can call and email your insurance company every single day and say, hey, I've got you what you need. When are we going to get our check for this thing to be repaired? What else do you need? What can I get you? You have everything you need. Great. Let's get it handled.
So I'm a policyholder and I call you because I live in Nashville or somewhere in Tennessee and I need some help on my insurance claim. Do I have to hire you and sign the representation agreement and get everything going before I get any of these pearls from you?
No, people who just call, this is what I tell anyone who calls my office. If you call Pound Law and you get shuffled to my desk, not shuffled, you get directed clearly to my desk. That's what our intake team does.
Clear direction.
We have a phone call. I'm going to tell you this, whether the end of the phone call is you need to hire me or the end of the phone call is I think you're going to be all right. I think you're just really frustrated, but here's what you can do to manage this process.
So I wish that I told you this story earlier today. It was just ironic that it happened today. We've got a client here in the Texas office, and we've been representing her for some time. She's very frustrated over her alternate living expense. She's only got a small limit. She's getting close to the limit being up. And unfortunately, when the carrier's vendor, who's doing the right thing, but when she called and said, I'm your ALE assistant today, rightfully so, called her rightfully so, it wasn't an adjuster calling about the claim. They know and they go through us. But when the vendor did the right thing and called the policyholder about trying to extend ALE and trying to get more benefits, I wish that I had been able to have that conversation to give her the first pearl that you always give. She was a lot of things, but she was not pleasant. She called me, the client was so proud of everything she had ripped up that insurance person. And fortunately, we were able to fix it, made a call and explained to the vendor and explained to the client, got it fixed. But that pleasant but persistent is some of the best news that anybody can get, the pleasant part for sure.
Yeah, that it's the mantra my office goes by. We're not going to yell and scream. We may get close to our frustration point. And I'll tell you, the first conversation I have with the claim specialist at the insurance company when I'm hired to represent someone is, hey, Jim, happy to meet you. My name's Alex Fisher. I represent so-and-so. My job is to make your job easier. I'm going to get you everything you need. You want to close out this claim and get it off your desk. I want you to close out this claim and get this person paid and get it off your desk. And I'm going to make that happen for you. And I'm also going to email you every day.
Email every day. That works. That's great. And so many times, I've been doing this for a lot more years than you and have had to, thankfully, handle a lot more claims, lots of catastrophes. You have dozens, hundreds of clients at a time. They've got no one to take it out on sometimes except you or me. And so we get a lot of that. As long as they're pleasant and persistent with their insurance carrier, that's the most important thing. They've got to have somebody to take it out on. And a lot of times that's me or you or me. So trust me, if that hasn't happened to you yet, it's coming. It's coming.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
So anything else with the pleasant yet persistent line, or do we move on to piece number 2?
Let's go on.
Okay, come on. Tell us what the second pearl of wisdom is.
The second pearl is you get what you pay for.
All right. Now, I believe that on all things. Tell us how you mean that. How does that pertain to the insurance claim process with you?
Well, this can apply in a lot of different places when we're talking about working through the process of an insurance claim. But the main thing I wanted to talk about tonight is you get what you pay for in the work that's done on your home. So I think for a lot of policyholders, it's just human nature. They see a big check and they think, does it really cost that much to fix my roof? Does it really cost that much to fix this water leak? Maybe I can get, my brother's cousin to do it, and then I'll have this extra money left over. I can get a new car. I can get new kitchen cabinets. And then it turns out the person who undercut the bid didn't really put a good roof on your house, or didn't really do a good job at repairing that drywall, or they did about 20% of the job and just left.
We saw a lot of that in Hurricane Ike many years back here in Houston, where I really got started doing first party property work, that folks would get that first check and then all of a sudden they're driving a nice car, or they've got amazing numbers of giant TVs in their house. And there's only so much we can do to get the rest of their claim properly paid. And if it's not enough to fix the house because they bought a car, or because they bought everybody they know a brand new big TV, there's a little bit of a disconnect there. You need to not only get what you pay for, but you need to spend it on the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that applies to our representation as well. If the point comes where someone needs an advocate for them, you get what you pay for, and we're going to work really hard. And sometimes I have to incur expenses most of the time in order to get good estimates, in order to put together really good inventories. And so I had a call with a client today about us getting together an estimate from my preferred vendor, not just his buddy. I said, you can use your buddy to do the work, use whoever you want to do the work, but we need this estimate in a format that's in Xactimate, that speaks the language that insurance companies speak, and we get what we pay for. We're not paying this guy, so we're getting nothing.
Right.
We need to use somebody who's going to do it right.
How frustrating has that piece been for you, if at all? I'm kind of catching you cold on this, but have you been able to help the policyholders understand that you know how to do it, we know how to do it, and you've got to do it the right way? I would think that works, but tell us a little bit about that experience for you.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this a little bit earlier. We're both parents. I'm a parent of a child who's a little bit younger than yours. He's a toddler. And so I think with toddlers and also with clients, and that's not meant to be demeaning, it's just they both need the same guidance. If I set clear expectations at the beginning, things run smoothly. In terms of, we're going to use my person to do the estimate. The only time things get a little dicey, like the one I was talking about today, is when someone's in the industry themselves. They work in the restoration industry themselves, and they really have a lot of pushback of wanting to do it their way, which they know a lot, and they're good at what they do, but
they got to let you do your job. They got to let us do our job. We'll let them do theirs when that role gets to it. Sure.
Exactly.
Got it. Well, we've had 2 pearls of wisdom from Alex. I am dying to hear this third pearl, please. Tell us what that is.
The third is you're not alone. And that means you're not alone in going through the process you're going through, whether it's been a tornado or a hurricane or a single home water loss because of pipe burst or a house fire. We deal with this every day. There are folks in the industry who deal with this every day. You don't have to fight Goliath by yourself. You have a whole team and army behind you. And usually that's frankly how I end most calls with potential clients when they call in is, maybe I'll go through the possible ways we could move forward. You can do this on your own. If you want to hire Morgan & Morgan, here's what that's going to look like. Here's some other resources you might want to look at, but just know you're not alone. You're going to be okay. Good deal.
Now, when I think of Nashville these days, of course, I think about the tornado because I've been doing this for over a decade. And so I've been through some various tornadoes across the country as far as helping folks, several hurricanes, helping folks. I've lost my house twice to Hurricane Ike on one side of town, moved to another side of town, Hurricane Harvey, lost this one. So I've been through it from helping folks in disasters and living through my own disaster. I bring that up to say, what type of work are you able to help people with in Nashville? If people don't have a tornado claim, but they've got some other type of property insurance claim, do they need to go look for somebody else?
No. Any sort of damage to property, whether it's residential, commercial, other insured property, boats, planes, we handle all of it. So anything that's been damaged, whether it's by something like a tornado where there are a lot of people have damage all within a couple seconds or minutes of each other, or you had a situation where your neighbor had a fire in their backyard and it got out of control and it burned your house down. That's someone I talked to just yesterday. Whether it's just a one-off accident that happened or a bigger catastrophe, if there is physical damage to a structure you own or a thing, a vehicle of some sort that you own and you have insurance on it, that's what we do.
Now, I talk at the beginning about hitting # LAW. I give out my cell phone every show, our website. If somebody is hearing this show tonight, later on, and want to know the best way to get in touch with you, let's remind them the best way for them to get through you, direct through the Nashville office, maybe even.
Yeah, absolutely. So my direct line to my personal office, nobody else answers this phone but me, is 629-221-6502.
Okay, give us that one more time, a little bit slower. Right, thank you.
All right, 629-221-6502.
Fantastic. And if all they can do is send an email, they send that email where?
Fisher@forthepeople.com, and I'll spell that. A, it's my first initial, last name Fisher, FISHER, @forthepeople, FORTHEPEOPLE.com.
That's great. Well, Alex, I really appreciate you coming on tonight. I am hopeful that this is a big help to all the folks in Tennessee that have problems with their property damage insurance claims. Speaking of that, if it weren't for the government grounding, that I would have been back in Nashville a few times by now since that first weekend after the tornadoes. Even with the grounding and the situation that the country is in, do you have any idea, do you have some feedback that you're getting from the community, so to speak, of what's happening with all those folks these days?
Yeah, so they are still moving forward. If you don't know, you know now, general contractors, home repairs are an essential service, so they haven't been shut down at all. The way that our team is handling it and the folks that I work with is that we are being doing doing really a lot of homework up front before we go into a home to do an estimate. The folks I have coming in are wearing masks, they're wearing gloves, they're figuring out the easiest way to get into the home with minimal interaction with the homeowner and their family. Because as I tell all our clients, we are going to move your case forward. We are not slowing down a minute, and we're going to do it in a way that makes you feel most comfortable. So we're going to do both at the same time.
Now, this wasn't part of the 3 points that we do everything in threes, but in what ways have you been able to adapt your practice? What ways has the law firm helped you adapt? What way are we doing things different from your perspective to let your clients know and your potential clients know we're here for you, we're here all day, every day, and we're going to make this move for you? Talk to us about that.
Yeah. So I would say that Morgan & Morgan is well equipped, without intending to be, but was well equipped for this situation, just in our advancement in how we utilize technology on a daily basis. So we have remote desktops. We don't just have a hard locked in PC. So even before all of this, I could log into my exact same desktop from my office anywhere in the world. I have an app on my phone that I log in. It's my office line direct to my phone 24/7. It shows my office number going out. It shows anyone's number coming in, and I can tell it's coming through my work line. We've already been doing video meetings every single week. The first party team, as Phil knows, now that he's a part of it. And that's something that our Mark Nation has been doing for years. So right. We're used to working this way. So I'd say it's just doing the same thing in a different room.
Just moving all the stuff along that you need to for your clients, the policyholders.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is so great. That's so great. Well, we're coming up on it, Alex. We try to keep these podcasts direct and intentional, straightforward. Anything else that you need the folks to make sure they know that you want them to know about the Nashville office for Morgan & Morgan's Insurance Recovery Group?
You know, Phil, I was thinking when we were talking earlier, and just one thing I wanted to say is, I know this sounds a little hokey and a lot of people probably feel this way, but I went to law school because I wanted to be able to have a skill where I could actually help people. And I've worked in different offices, different law firms in different sectors. And this may sound a little cheesy, but I actually feel like I have a skill set where I can really help people. After the tornado happened, I just put it out on my Instagram to friends. Here's my cell phone number. Call or text me if you have damage. I'm not trying to get you to hire me as an attorney. I do this all day. Let me talk you through the process. Let me tell you what to expect so that it's not so scary for you. You guys are my friends, or your friends are my friends. And, I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose things. I can't do surgery, but I actually have a skill set where I can help real people now. And I know that's how I think, and that's how our whole team thinks. So
and that's how our whole team thinks. That's right. That's right. And we're all, I say it to my wife and to my loved ones all the time since I joined Morgan & Morgan. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I'm doing just what I'm supposed to do. And I really feel that way about our entire first party team. It is a group of people, 55 of the greatest colleagues that anyone ever want to have, as I always say. We are all right where we're supposed to be, and we're doing just what we're supposed to do. Well, with that, Alex, I think we're going to sign off for tonight. We are grateful that we've had Alex Fisher from Morgan & Morgan's Nashville office as our special guest on Phil's First Party Show tonight. If you need to get in touch with us, don't forget forthepeople.com. You can find Alex on there, pound LAW from any cell phone. Ask to speak to Alex Fisher. Tell her you got a first party case in Tennessee, whoever it is that's helping you. And we will make sure that we get you to Alex to get you the help that you need. Morgan & Morgan's First Party Insurance Recovery Group. Come see us. Alex, we're going to sign off. Thank you, ma'am. You are great. I really appreciate you helping us tonight.
Sounds good. Thanks, Phil.
All right. Thanks a lot.